with you today. There are two issues that we will be discussing in the session of Department of Youth Affairs. Friends, the department has been working very hard under the leadership of Honorable Minister Anurag Singh Thakurji, and it is our belief that all activities can be improved upon. We also believe that in an increasingly digital economy, it is important to retool the organizations so that they can meet the needs of youth as in the present day. It is with this belief that we bring two subjects for discussion, and we hope that all of you will be very generous with your feedback and with your suggestions in the true spirit of a Chintan Shivir. The first subject is an upcoming web portal that is under development by the Department of Youth Affairs. This web portal is meant to offer an opportunity to youth through the country to find and engage with activities that interest them. आज के जो युवा हैं उनके अनेक प्रकार के इंटरेस्ट हैं और हमारी हमेशा ये कोशिश रहेगी कि उनको इस पोर्टल पे उस प्रकार की एक्टिविटीज मिले जिनमें वो रुचि लेते हों. So we have a number of different activities. They can take part in community oriented activities, they can take part in sports, cultural activities. One other activity that they can all take part in is structured experiential learning. As we know, all youth, while they are, whether they are in school or in college, they all need experience of practical real life situations. Governor Banwari Lal Purohit ji also raised this issue कि भाई आज का जो युवा है वो उसकी आकांक्षाएं तो बहुत हैं पर स्वयं रोजगार की तरफ इतना आकर्षित नहीं होता और 20,000 की नौकरी के बारे में काम करने के बारे में उसके मन में कुछ डाउट्स हैं, संशय हैं. सो इन दिस पोर्टल वी वुड बी ऑफरिंग स्ट्रक्चर्ड एक्सपीरियंशियल लर्निंग ऑफ 30 to 60 days, 1 से 2 महीने की, which would then also count for credits in their respective colleges. These work experience situations could be either with small businesses or they could be in NYKS offices or in other government departments. And we hope that this would provide them with very valuable experience. Other than this, the upcoming portal would also offer an opportunity to launch all and post all the various events that would be hosted by the department in the coming months. So we have over 600 Yuva Utsavs planned in the next 3 months, and the institution that is organizing the Utsav can post the event on the portal, invite students to register. They get to know what are the kind of activities available, whether it is a painting competition or a photography competition or just a minute. It could be anything. They get to see on a live basis what are the activities that are available. Also, they can all youth clubs, different community organizations can register and post their activity. So that is one of the issues. The other issue that we hope to discuss in today's forum is that of the restructuring of the youth festival. Friends, we believe that the youth festival could be made richer by adding more content, and traditionally we have had cultural themes like folk dance and folk song in group and individual events. In addition to that, we are proposing to identify and allocate specific themes to the various state governments. They would have then time for 4-5 months to organize district level competitions to identify who are the best entries in group or in the individual entry. So we have 5-6 different themes which we are bringing to you today. Youth as job creators, improving millets production, science for society, एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत, ऐसी 5-1 थीम्स हैं और इनका एलोकेशन ड्रॉ लॉट से किया जाएगा. कौन सी थीम पे कौन सा राज्य क्या करना चाहता है, दैट इज कंप्लीटली ओपन टू देम to define how to select the winning entries. एंड वी बिलीव कि अगर ये 3-4 महीने में डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे चयन की प्रक्रिया के लिए कॉम्पिटिशन्स किए जाएं तो इट गिव्स द होल प्रोसेस अ लॉट ऑफ ट्रैक्शन. It can attract youth and it is a small youth festival in its own way. So all state governments are welcome to add to this in whatever way they like. So I'll stop here and we can go forward and hear the discussions which will proceed. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, starting with the first session on youth affairs, I now invite Digital India team led by Mr. Gaurav Sharma and Priyadarshi De from the Digital India Corporation for the first presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Honorable Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports, Anurag sir. Honorable Minister of State, sir, Minister of Youth of States from Manipur, a very warm, sorry, there is some low light, I believe. Okay, respected colleagues, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is a very warm welcome to this gathering. I am delighted to have you all here today. It is my privilege and honor to present you this IT platform, IT-based youth leadership and social engagement platform. In the meantime, we are calling it the Yuva platform, and it will, possess capabilities to enable youth-centric governance. So, before going into the details, I'll just give us a brief introduction about Digital India Corporation. We are an extended arm of Ministry of Electronics and IT, Government of India, which is set up as a not-for-profit organization, which was set up in 2001. Currently, DIC leads and guides the realization of vision and objectives of the Digital India program. I'm sure you must have come across with our divisions, which are mostly in limelight, like the NEGD, MyGov, Meeti Startup Hub, India Semiconductor Mission, Bhashni, which is the National Language Translation Mission. So, in pursuit of our mandate, we have been ideating, developing, and managing several large-scale national scale platforms like DigiLocker, Covin, Diksha, Umang, Meri Pehchan, and many more. So the concept of this platform was ideated within the Ministry of Youth Affairs to provide meaningful opportunities to youth with credible opportunities, credible options in the public and private sector. That the schemes of youth development and engagement, which can in turn foster youth-centric governance. To realize this vision, we have worked towards three-pronged approach, which is building a national youth registry, creating a database for relevant public and private organizations and repositories of their youth-related services and information, and lastly, to build a youth-centric mobile and web platform, which is intuitive, multilingual, one-stop interface, which facilitates, real-time matchmaking of youth with their interests, like cultural events, experiential learning, etc. The digital platform aims to empower and engage youth to become leaders and active citizens in their communities. It provides tools, resources, and opportunities for youth to develop their leadership skills, engage in social impact projects, connect with peers, and contribute to governance processes. The Yuva platform will play a critical role in enabling the youth-centric governance by providing a space where youth can engage, collaborate, and hone their leadership skills. Yes, ma'am. So the youth platform will include features such as leadership development, experiential learning, mentorship opportunities, social engagements, partnerships, and collaborations. Each feature is designed to cater to the specific needs of youth and enhance their experience on the platform. The platform benefits includes providing practical learning opportunities, fostering community engagement, promoting civic responsibilities, building leadership skills, and developing critical thinking skills. It will enable youth to connect with their peers and mentors from diverse backgrounds, collaborate on projects, and make positive impact in their communities. By providing a space for youth to engage in social national building issues, the platform enables youth-centric governance. The youth leadership and social engagement platform will play a crucial role in empowering the youth and enabling youth-centric governance. By providing a platform for youth, we can, so without further delaying, we'll go ahead with the demo. So this is the first look of the Yuva platform. This beta platform is available at yuva.gov.in. These are some of the landing pages. This talks about the internships, finding opportunities. This talks about experiential learning, the activities that can be made available, the events that are being posted. So I'll just go briefly into the small module, and then I'll request my colleague to give a demo of the platform. So while registering youth, we will be using, to create a verified registry, we'll be using an Aadhaar-based platform, which is powered by Meri Pehchan, which initially captures very basic information about the youth. Then, as and when the platform evolves, it keeps on taking information about youth, which can be utilized for further details. Priyadarshini? So this is a brief demo of the...
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Without further delay, we'll just start off with the demonstration of the platform. To all the dignitaries present here, the idea of the platform is to create a very simple, logistically easy sign-on process for the youth who are not only urban but also rural. Youth who are involved in every activity that currently is, important for nation building. So we go on to the platform demonstration, where it takes a very basic Aadhaar detail. And obviously, since Aadhaar is very widely used, it helps the youth to create their own registry, which is verified registry for the youth, which helps them to later on get better, government services. And once we have gone on to the, once the registration process starts, the youth gets a longer registry where they give in their details, their preferences and interests of what they want to do. So once the youth starts registering, they will be able to choose their state, their district, their area of interest, and they may choose more than one area of interest, their area of sub-interest. So if they have, say, interest in sports, so they may choose football, cricket, etc., etc. They may choose more than one sub-interest areas, and they will get opportunities and social engagements along that interest in their geolocated area, which means the youth will be able to locate themselves and around wherever they live or wherever they want to take the internship. That preference will be given to the youth. Obviously, for several youth, we have to also map the university, the college that they are associated with. So that also goes on to the as a part of the platform. Right now, obviously, the platform is in building stage, and we are just working with a very small amount of live data. So we are yet to build the platform that way. So I will also ask your forgiveness, as this is a beta platform. As we see that the youth starts choosing their industry and area, and they can choose their area of interest and social engagement and experiential learning experiences. Now we get on to the next slide. Where we are talking about how the youth engages, and so who they engage with. So the youth engages with several government, non-government, and other organizations who are associated in the private sector, in the not-for-profit sector, who come into the platform to offer their services. And they obviously also register through the same process. They give in their offerings to the platform, and where the youth can, so it's basically, they will match the youth's preference with the organization's preference, and there'll be a matchmaking, and then the youth will be offered either a social engagement or an experiential learning or a mentoring service that the youth can very easily avail. This is the very quick demonstration of how the partner onboards onto the platform. As we are as the Department of Youth, we have seen that there are various departmental spaces that we can also include into the platform, like the youth clubs, who are youth-centric organizations who are created by the youth. So we have given them a space to come and talk about themselves and create their own, community spaces inside the platform. So this is how the partners register. Obviously, some of the departmental organizations who need to verify these partner organizations have also been given a space to register here. As and when the platform grows, we will invite all the other departments from all the other government ministries to please come and create their communities here. So we're trying to create a social community from the government sectors, from the non-government sectors, and from the private sectors also, who will come and support the youth in creating their nation-building experience. I'll go to the next slide. Next slide. Next. It's not happening. Sorry. Yeah. So when we are looking at the experiential learning experience, and we'd like to talk about this, the experiential learning portal here creates a very unique experience for the youth to come and join, and then obtain any sort of learning experience through professional working opportunities with organizations, both government, non-governmental and public, and where these opportunities are going to be about 2 months, I think, 2 months programs, where they'll obtain experiences of learning, experience of working, professional experiences from MSMEs, from government departments, from not-for-profits, and from other industrial departments also. As usual, all these applications are going to be cross-verified by the departments, also by the invited departments that we are going to onboard. Again, how the experiential learning, please play, the experiential, how partner organization onboards onto the portal is demonstrated here.
Just to add to what Priyadarshini is saying, for businesses, there will be a minimum cutoff of 40 lakh turnover.
Yes.
Annually, because that brings them in line with the Udyam portal of the Government of India.
Yes. So there will be some checks and balances for every organizations that are onboarded here, including the youth. So we will be verifying the youth with the Aadhaar, and other businesses and organizations with the various portals that are added. So for example, if it's an NGO, we'll be asking, we have already connected with the Darpan. For businesses, it will be Udyam. For large industries, it will be the industry standards. So we will try to maintain a huge amount of hygiene in the portal so that the youth experience is absolutely clear, and there is no amount of malice. As it's a government portal, we cannot do that. So we need to make sure that the experience of the youth is absolutely clear and it reaches the youth in a positive way instead of it being in a negative way. I think, next slide, please. Yeah. So as the youth applies to the portal, the youth's application, as the youth registers to the portal, the youth can get a large repository of opportunities, social engagements, experiential learning engagements, and mentoring opportunities. They may select it around the geographical location, and once they select this opportunity, it will reach to the organization where they will accept the opportunity. Obviously, they'll apply to that opportunity. Once they apply to the opportunity, the organization will either select or reject the child. Obviously, sometimes what happens is that organizations also have limited capacity, but then the portal in itself auto allocates the youth to another organization. So there is huge amount of opportunity. The idea is, what we have seen is, there is large amount of opportunity on the ground, which does not transforms in itself to the technology portal, and so the youth is not aware that the opportunity is happening. But what we are doing creates that since we are mapping end to end, and we are also reaching to the last mile organization, we are onboarding every organization and every youth. So every youth at least has more than 10 opportunities to apply to during this experiential learning program, and further on, of course. This is a small demonstration of how the youth creates their profile. I think by now it's very clear that it's a drop-down form, and children will come and they'll give in their data. As and when required, they can keep on building their profile. We have also requested the universities to come and on board with us. So the universities will come in with their coordinators who will verify the youth's data from their sides. Also, because the experiential learning programs have some amount of credits that the universities provide to the youth. So this kind of credit matching will also happen through our portal. Next slide. Further on, very interesting, yes, and I would like ma'am to ask.
So basically what all you can see is that there is a backbone which has been created, which has all these modules. The content depends entirely on you. The content depends entirely on the state governments. Every district youth officer, every state government commissionerate, the national department, it will have a dashboard where all these activities are reflected. How many organizations on board is entirely dependent on the efforts made by the states. We have tried to build an API or a handle with the large databases for verification. But that being said, every college will need to onboard those who wish to post experiential learning. Small and medium businesses will have to onboard. So we are collaborating with a few business organizations, but every drop counts. So I would request all of you to see it as an opportunity. Here in the Yuva Utsav, as I said, we have over 600 events lined up. And again, the content depends entirely on you. Some of you would have hosted these Yuva Utsavs in the past. In a Yuva Utsav, there are different kinds of events again, which depend on the host college, on the nearby schools, on the government departments who wish to put up stalls. It is available to them, and there's a live counter. So everybody can see, students can register both offline and online. So I think we'll stop here. Any feedback which anyone wishes to give, please do write to us. Also, there is an email, Gaurav, support@yuva.gov.in. Is it operational? Yes. So please display that. So there is an email ID. Please write to us and tell us what else you would like to have over here. It is still in beta stage. So which is why we have brought it to the Chintan Shivir. Please feel free to offer any suggestions. We hope that this could be a mechanism to engage youth pan-India. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we have a presentation from the Madhya Pradesh Youth Department. I request Srimati Deepti Gaur Mukherjee, Principal Secretary, Youth Affairs and Sports, Madhya Pradesh Government, to make the presentation.
Ma'am, 2 मिनट वेट करना है क्योंकि जिस सब्जेक्ट पे प्रेजेंटेशन में क्लैरिटी नहीं होगी तो फायदा नहीं. Because I could see she was telling you about the processes how to log in, what is the advantage, but to be on the same page. If you have understood it well, why it is being made, what is the larger role of the youth in the coming years, and how they could utilize their services for volunteerism, internship, or the other activities they want to engage in the nation building process. That is why this has been created, to bridge the gap, provide a platform. If you have any specific suggestion to further improvise this, further some more elements should be added to this, that will be more than welcome. अगर वो चर्चा नहीं होगी तो हम आगे बढ़ जाएंगे।
ये तो इन्होंने बोला कि लिख के भेज दीजिएगा, तो हमने सोचा हम बाद में लिख के भेज देंगे।
ठीक है, बट
लेकिन अभी बता सकते हैं।
प्रेजेंटेशन की कॉपी है आपके पास?
दे दें। नहीं अभी तो मिलनी चाहिए।
प्रेजेंटेशन की कॉपी, स्पेसिफिक क्या किस पे फोकस होने वाला है, और उनमें सुझाव कुछ ऐड करने के लिए तो आप लोग वो जरूर दीजिए। समय कम रहेगा, अगर आप एक हफ्ते के अंदर दे देंगे, विल बी मोर देन हैप्पी टू ऐड इट, एंड विल आल्सो लाइक टू लर्न फ्रॉम वेरियस स्टेट्स इफ दे आर डूइंग ऑन द सिमिलर लाइंस। उसमें बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलेगा।
एक छोटा सा प्रेजेंटेशन मेरा आपने अगले सेशन में डाल दिया, जबकि वो इसी से रिलेटेड है। हम भी एक युवा साथी ऐप बना रहे हैं जिसको मैं दिखाना चाहता था।
आप भी इसी में दिखा दीजिए।
आपने एमपी के बाद उस नेक्स्ट सेशन में डाल दिया, वो तो उसको इसी में डाल दीजिए, तो हम 10 मिनट दिखा देंगे। वो नेक्स्ट सेशन में नहीं है, वो रिस्ट्रक्चरिंग वाला है। ये तो बिल्कुल रिलेवेंट है, मैं आपको बताता हूँ। एमपी पहले कर ले, फिर मैं बताता हूँ।
किसी और के मन में कोई स्पेसिफिक सुझाव होगा तो आप अभी भी लिख के, बाद में भी लिख के दे सकते हैं।
Respected ministers on the dais, Secretary ma'am, may I request for the presentation to be uploaded? Yeah. So, sir, I think the scene has been set in terms of what Yuva Portal is about, and in MP we've already launched it. So just to give you an idea of what we are envisaging in this, I'll start without any delay. Next slide. So if we look at this, there's a vision of the state in terms of what actually we are concerned with in youth development. As we all know that youth, of course, is a separate category, but it's also a very differentiated category. And it's interspersed, and it has what you say, kind of an intervention in different sectors. So when we started this entire process, we said we must look at youth as a specific sector. It may have different interests, but let's look at a different sector. And we wanted to have an approach which looks at just not the skills and the employment part of the youth and their interests, but also their whole personality development, which includes what has been discussed right now in terms of volunteering and in terms of participating in policy making and in implementation. So the first aspect is that we have an integrated approach to youth development. The second is, like it's been mentioned here, that we wanted them to have an exposure of all international and national opportunities in subjects and areas which they're interested in. Third, we want to encourage volunteering for nation building. And lastly, we want some kind of a community engagement for the youth. So there's a slight overlap between volunteering and community engagement, which I will explain as we go along. Next. So we started, sir, you may remember that last year in July, we had invited you for the inauguration of the Youth Mahapanchayat, and there was a weather thing, and so you gave your address on the online. So we started this last year where we had a Youth Mahapanchayat, and the objectives was basically to get a youth from different walks of life across the entire state to come sit down, discuss various issues across certain sectors, come up with certain ideas, and look at how we can engage with them more constructively for the development of the state. So we had a registration process. There were almost 53,000 youth registered in that. Then we had in each districts, we identified, we called for 7 to 8 people in 6 or 7 sectors. Then they came for the state level Youth Mahapanchayat, which was inaugurated by the Honorable CM and Honorable Union Minister. We had sectoral experts from India and abroad. We had a very, very interactive discussions across 1.5 day, 2 days. And we had 6 or 7 sectors where we had environment, we had sustainable future, we had tech startups, we had youth for democracy, youth for social cause. We also had sports. So we had 7 sectors. And then at the end of it, we had a youth resolution. I'll come to the next slide where we identify. So in the youth resolution, we had certain things, we had certain commitment from the part of the youth, what they would like to see from the government and what they would like to commit to achieve those goals in the government.
through government. And then finally, we had some interventions in terms of institutional structures, institutional processes, which they wanted to get established. So we had to have they wanted a state youth policy, they wanted some state youth awards, they wanted an annual Mahapanchayat, they wanted a youth advisory committee at the district level, some youth cells in colleges. And then the rest, if you can see, are the sectors where we had lots of suggestions. And of course, we also had a commitment from the youth to engage in all these sectors. From this Youth Mahapanchayat, the demand came from the youth that can we have a one-stop solution? Can we have one platform where everything which concerns us can be there? Because basically their most immediate interest was of employment. And of course scholarships and things like that. But they said कि हमें अलग-अलग websites पे अलग-अलग विभागों के schemes में जाके देखना पड़ता है कि मुख्यमंत्री उद्यम क्रांति योजना है, फिर MSME का अलग है, फिर DIPP का अलग है, महिला बाल विकास का अलग है. क्या इन सब चीजों को आप एक जगह हमारे लेकर आ सकते हैं क्या? और क्या फिर हम उसको एक्सेस कर सकते हैं? So this is what they asked us. Then we sat down with them. It has taken us almost 8 to 9 months to develop this portal, and it's become live. So I'll come to the features of the portal. Next. So like I said, that it came from them. So we have also then come up with a state youth policy, which we've just launched. I shared it with ma'am the other day, and which takes a lot from the national policy. But of course, we have our own elements in it, because we also looked at not just statement of intent, but also in terms of, जैसे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने सुबह अपने संबोधन में हमसे कहा गया था, तो जो implementation वाला part है, उसको हमने उसको बहुत ही focus दिया है. And in fact, we have 18 action points which have to be implemented in the next 1.5 months. So it's not an empty document. It's not a facetious document. Next. तो what are the features of the portal? The first is कि हमने करीब जितने भी हमारे विभाग हैं, प्रमुख विभाग हैं जो youth से engage करते हैं, उनकी सारी schemes को इस portal पे लेकर आया है. Then we have a whole section on the volunteering part, where youth can come and volunteer for various activities. There's a whole module on mentorship. There is जैसे MyGov का, you have those 5 engagement platform है MyGov of Government of India, where you have those 5 things like tasks, discussion groups, blogs. So we've taken that model and adopted it here. We're using the MyGov right now, but ultimately we'll move to our own one. Then there's a portion on inspiration, where we will be posting inspirational stories. Then there is one on youth achievement, where youth will be actually putting forward their achievement stories. And then we have a cultural events thing. So I'll explain a little of each of these features. Next. तो एक यूथ रजिस्ट्रेशन का है हमारे पास. एक मध्य प्रदेश में there is a thing, we have an identity called समग्र ID. So that's a huge thing. हाँ मैम, ऐसा 5 slides more. समग्र ID है, उससे we are doing a registration with the for the youth, and where we ask them for the areas of interest. Next. These are our schemes. So we have 16 departments, 134 schemes at one portal. And we've also identified the sectors of those schemes, so that the youth doesn't have to go around searching कि कौन सी scheme है क्या है. तो यदि आपको employment में interest है, तो आप employment search कीजिए, फिर department में जाइए, आपको सारी schemes पता लग जाएंगी. Similarly, if interested in scholarship, you can get that. Skill development, admissions, hostel, awards, monthly pensions is basically it's related to a scholarship scheme. So this is how we've categorized all the schemes related to youth on one platform. Next. ये हमारा स्कीम इंटरफेस है. तो आप स्कीम की कैटेगरी सिलेक्ट कर सकते हैं. अगर आपको डिपार्टमेंट मालूम है तो डिपार्टमेंट सिलेक्ट कर सकते हो, एंड देन यू कैन सर्च which department you have. So you see labor department, we have other departments. Most important, we haven't recreated the wheel. हमने दोबारा व्हील को इन्वेंट नहीं किया है. जिस विभाग का जो स्कीम है, whichever scheme belongs to whichever department, we've just given the link there, so that this whole updation business is not, what happens mostly with portals is you can never be updated. So we don't do anything. All they have to do is click that particular scheme and it'll go to the website of the particular department, and that's naturally updated. There is no double burden on the department. Otherwise, the departments just don't take interest. So we're just like an aggregator. In today's days, we're just an aggregator of all the things to do with the youth. Next. This is what I was discussing, the MyGov thing. So we have work. I think all of you know the MyGov model. So we're basically following that. In fact, as of now, there are 2 important areas where we are taking people's youth opinion. I'll explain those 2. One is the youth resource centers, which you want to develop at each district level. And the second thing is the Mukhyamantri apprenticeship yojana, where it has to be launched. So us pe hum log pure suggestions youth se le rahe hain. So the very important thing, that who you are actually planning for and implementing for, they are actually participating in the formulation of the policy itself. That itself is a very big thing. And we have Beautiful suggestions coming up. Next. We have a whole section on mentorship. Here, we again have sector-wise mentors. And यहाँ पे the responsibility is basically with the department. And they know who are the good mentors, so they'll be registering them. And then these mentors will get in touch with the people who show their interest and give them mentorship. Here also, we will not recreate. Like mental health, we already have an online portal of Government of India and our own. So we will just give the link. So jahan online resources available hai, we'll be just be linking it. So, you're not adding to your logistical issues. Next. Here's the inspiration part, where we are, as a department, we have small PMU, we will be identifying achievers across various sectors because everybody's interest is different, and we'll be posting those achievements here. Next. This is the interactive one. Here, youth themselves can come up. They will mention what their uplabdhiyan are, unki kya achievements hai. We will get that verified, and then we will put it on the portal so that, everybody knows what's happening. Next. Then we have a whole section of cultural programs and activities. They will be posting all the activities. We also have district level chapters in this. Next. What is the current progress so far? So we have 29,000 visitors. We have 6,000 youth who are registered. This I've already mentioned. Next. This is the gender-wise registration and the age-wise registration. Next. We have almost all districts have been covered. So every district में से कोई ना register किया है. And look at the areas of interest which has come. So we've also identified that. So it's very important for us to see what the data is telling us. It's not just an empty, a cosmetic kind of a thing. So we are working on that part, and it's developing really fast right now. Next. These are the queries which come through Contact Us. So a lot of them was about information about new schemes, technical help, see jobs and internships, career guidance. So this also gives us an idea. So now we act as a mediator between the queries of the youth and the concerned departments. And we help them out with it. So we are basically, like I said, we are a mediator. Next. What is the way forward? So we are now communicating with the children who have registered and then coming up with activities which are on their area of interest. We are initiating the district level chapters, and we're setting up this thing, sir. It's very unique. It's a youth resource center in each of the 52 districts. It's going to basically be a one-stop shop at the district, where we are going to have a youth advisory council, and they're going to work with them to develop schemes. And finally, we'll be organizing some activities. That's all.
Thank you. I think very good presentation. And if you look at युवा महापंचायत से जो सुझाव युवाओं के आए हैं, उसके चलते इन्होंने युवा पोर्टल बनाया है. तो आज पीएम साहब भी सुबह कह रहे थे कि हम इस बैठक से भी कुछ निकाल कर ऐसा लेके जाएं इसके ऊपर आगे कदम उठा सके. तो मध्य प्रदेश ने वो ऑलरेडी किया है और प्रेजेंटेशन भी बहुत अच्छी थी. 1 महीने से कम समय के अंदर आई थिंक मोर देन 29,058 हैज ऑलरेडी visited your website. 6,000 plus has already registered, which looks good. I mean, that's a good sign. अब इस पे आपके कोई सुझाव हैं तो एक एक करके. सबसे पहले किसी राज्य के कोई मंत्रीगण बोलना चाहते हैं दोनों प्रेजेंटेशन के ऊपर, तो विल गो बाय द फर्स्ट मिनिस्टर्स, देन वी कैन गो थ्रू द ऑफिसर्स. Any minister wants to say anything or want to add anything or suggest to what we have seen? If no minister is speaking, then any officer want to say something?
So I just wanted to and we would, sir, we'll have to look at, ma'am, how we can integrate what we have done and what has been done nationally, so that we don't replicate and duplicate and unnecessarily increase the effort. So we will have to look at some data management issues also, because MP specific to हमारे portal से हो जाएगा. But if you look at the vision of Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat, and we're looking at giving a much wider canvas to youth, then the integration between the portal which you are developing and which we are doing at the state level, that will have to be done. So that will require both technical help from your IT people, and of course we will put in our best.
Sure.
But we don't want to duplicate it in the sense that...
No, I agree, because we have a similar portal which we are launching. Yeah, we have a similar portal called Yuva Sathi, because they have put it on the other. Can you show it here? I told those fellows to put it in
the technical team, please.
Because it's in the same context. दूसरे में चला जाएगा तो context ही बदल जाएगा.
Please show the UP presentation. Yeah. The presentation from the UP government.
नहीं वो ये इसी से रिलेटेड है, वो दूसरे उसमें सेशन में चला जाएगा. इसी हमने युवा साथी ऐप बनाया, मैं एक बार आपको बता देना चाहता हूँ.
I want to inform all the delegates that we have placed, I want to speak placards on the table. So whenever any delegate want to speak, may please raise the placard.
You see, a kind of similar exercise. We in UP, we have 90,000 villages, and we have in each village, we call it Mahila Mangal Dal and Yuvak Mangal Dal, 20 youth, 20, 40. So we have almost a group of 18 lakh youth, which is connected. Now we are, uploading their data. We have reached up to 35,000 now. We are trying to reach up to 90,000. So for them, what we are presuming is that the youth knows everything. But we have proposed a app called Yuva Sathi, so where we, on a single platform, we are giving every information about 350 government schemes, including state government and central government as well, including the hyperlinks which she was talking about. And the registration of youth, the suggestions, the feedback, everything. Yeah, it has come now. Yeah, this is. There are two similar kind of presentations. Yeah, carry on. This is Yuva Sathi app that we've already put. And next, please. Basically, idea is to awareness. We are presuming that youth knows about everything, but no, he has to run to many platforms. So that is why there is a single platform for not only their education, skill, scholarship, jobs, their sports, all whatever a youth needs. Next, hello. This is a single platform, as I already told you, about all these schemes, including hyperlinks for all Government of India schemes as well. So he has to visit, all next, whatever subject he wants to. These are some of the subjects that has been covered: skill development, self-employment schemes, the startups, health, competitive examination, higher education, job, vocational training, career counseling, sports. Next. This is a process where we also get his the information. As I was telling you, we have 90,000 groups of 20 youth in the villages, rural. Basically, we are concentrating on rural youth because they are the ones who are not aware of many of the government schemes and many of the future potential that they can explore. Yeah, next. This is a hyperlink I just wanted to show. Can you click the hyperlink? Go back. इसको हाँ, yeah, please. ये डबल क्लिक कर दो भैया, इसको खुल जाएगा अभी. हाँ, ये युवा साथी ऐप है, ये हिंदी इंग्लिश दोनों में आएगा. This is about 300 services on 165 youth schemes and 85 departments of both Government of India and state government. So they, when you get started, you get OTP and all those stuff on this. Next. ठीक है, next. I don't take much time. Next presentation, yeah. The another thing that we have now tried is, we keep talking about startups. I was telling you your National Youth Festival should also include a session on startups. So what is happening is a large number of rural youth, they have ideas, but their ideas are not being fructified. So we are now starting a startup exchange every week, a day in a place where we have identified. We get our rural youth with ideas. We get we have tied up with the Angel Network, UP Angel Network. They are the investors. And we have tied up with our technical incubators, that is the UP Technical University as well as IIM Lucknow. So where we get youth representatives who have ideas, investors who are looking for ideas, and our technical incubators who provide technical support. So this is picking up very well, and we had almost 150 youth with ideas last week only, and we are kind of trying to give it a more speed. As I was telling you, the large rural youth, that base that we have, we can utilize, and we are trying to utilize, and now setting up a center of excellence for startups in for rural youth. So this will be a big beginning for rural youth to bring their ideas, and we get investors and the technical support to fructify their ideas. Thank you.
So thank you all. I have one basic response to the presentations made by UP and MP. They were wonderful presentations, and they have a very good point. Friends, there is a very basic difference between what the Madhya Pradesh government app and the UP government app has done and what we are doing, what is under development. Essentially, the Madhya Pradesh government app and the UP government app, at least what I could see of it, these are aggregator platforms, as Deepti rightly said, where they bring together links of different kinds of government schemes, as she said, a one-stop shop, where people can find information about that. We have begun from the ground up, where youth spend a lot of time in doing a large number of activities which don't get recorded anywhere. Whether it is part of a Mission Life program, whether it is part of a blood donation camp, whether it is experiential learning or internship, at the end of the day, they are not able to get a single point certificate of what they have done. So what this Yuva portal will do is that at any time, any youth club can get, because we have put all that at the back end, they can get a single point certificate of all the man hours they have put in. And that is the USP, that whenever they go for any job application or anything else, then that is something for which they don't have to run around different government offices. Now the thing is that for that kind of single point certificate, the content we need to generate from the ground up. All the links of the different government programs would in any case be there, na? वो तो आप किसी भी पेज के ऊपर, लैंडिंग पेज के ऊपर डाल सकते हैं, वो तो हम भी डालेंगे. But the point is that are you able to get a college or a business to register and to offer what we are calling an experiential learning or a kind of internship? All those processes have been built into that. So a college, Ruia College says कि भाई I am onboarding onto this portal, my students can apply for any experiential learning opportunities. A local business says that they are willing to offer these 3 job roles, whether it is accounts or marketing or whatever may be the case, and then they are able to apply for that. So currently the major problem that we have in this country is that of employability. Na? So this particular app is under development, which is why the structure look like that for you, but the beta version is there, yuva.gov.in. आप कृपया वहाँ पर जाइए, देखिए, अपने सुझाव दीजिए. If we can get, currently the last survey, multi-function survey said that there are 30% youth in this country who are not in education or employment or training. If we can find some way to address their issues, then it will have served its purpose. Please write to us. Thank you.
Thank you. आप पीछे अपनी इंट्रोडक्शन देके फिर यू कैन ऐड.
नमस्कार सर, मैं अमित तलवार, डायरेक्टर फॉर स्पोर्ट्स एंड यूथ अफेयर्स इन पंजाब सर. First of all, thanks sir for organizing this Chintan Shivir and giving us this opportunity to learn from the other states and Government of India, sir. Sir, when the Government of India presentation was happening, I jotted down the few points. One of the point was definitely the same which ma'am has mentioned, that duplication in the states are doing the same effort what Government of India is doing. So whether we can have one unified kind of a platform which states can also use in plug and play model, rather than having different kind of platforms, separate platforms which are not talking to each other, sir. Secondly, sir, I will request that it is on the technical side. When we make the applications, they are centric towards what office is making it. Now, this ministry and the Secretary Government of India उस ऑफिस के लिए बन रहा है, तो ये होता है कि डाटा अपवर्ड जाता है, पर जो नीचे वाले ऑफिसेज हैं, जैसे स्टेट हेडक्वार्टर या डिस्ट्रिक्ट हेडक्वार्टर, सो उनको अगर कोई डाटा लेना तो वो पहले मेल लिखें, फिर 15 दिन में क्वेरी बिल्डर बनता है तो वो डाटा मिलता है. कैन देयर बी अ रेडीमेड क्वेरी बिल्डर्स फॉर द स्टेट where they can use the data for their state. District magistrates can use the data for their own district, so that they can build their own queries, their own filters, and use that data and make the matchmaking at the local level with their own entrepreneurs. So that will be a helpful feature if that is done, sir. Thank you, sir.
थैंक यू अमित जी.
सॉरी सर.
एक मिनट नवनीत जी रुकिए, एक मिनट. अतुल्य जी.
Sir, we are also making some efforts in this direction, sir. But our scheme is called non-mudalwan. That basically means I am first, or अर्थार्थ में कहने तो I am the priority. So basically, the young people, mostly in the higher education setup and in the polytechnic and ITI setup, they say, as a matter of entitlement, I want some skill, I want credit, or I want placement. And from the rural areas, we are getting demand that I want linguistic skills, mostly English language and other soft skills. And this is an entitlement base is created. And then it is the duty of the government, the duty of the private sector, through collaborations, through mentorship, we have to fill this mentorship, this gap. So that is the approach which Tamil Nadu is taking, sir.
मेरा इसमें कोई सुझाव नहीं है, but I just want to say,
Sir,
I से we होगा या nation होगा तो थोड़ा बेहतर है, because youth is talking about rights only, not the responsibility. So, I mean, that's your call. I'm not getting into that debate, but that is there.
Sir, well, of course, sir, once this Yuva portal, because we have been also taken as one of the states where pilot is being conducted, we will certainly, this will be a good approach in the sense, our approach is limited to higher education, technical institutions, but that doesn't mean that we are representing the entire youth setup. So with this coming in, we will be making it broad-based. But I just thought I'll share one of the experience of ours. Yes.
Thank you. There's one gentleman in the red shirt want you to speak with you. Ji. Apna introduction deke, then you can say.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, this is Jitendra Sonkar, Director Sports Uttarakhand. Sir, Jitendra Sonkar, Director Sports Uttarakhand. Sir, Uttarakhand sir has also designed on a same concept which is called Youth Center, Youth Hub at the level of the district center and at the level of the block center. So the basic concept was behind this कि जो हमारा youth है सर उसको एक proper गाइडेंस नहीं मिल पा रहा है, उसको प्रॉपर एक करियर कंसल्टेशन नहीं मिल पा रहा है, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की क्या उसको स्कीम्स हैं और सेंट्रल स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की क्या स्कीम्स हैं, especially for the rural areas or interior areas of the part of the Uttarakhand and other part of the states and country, तो उसको वहाँ पे वो सारी चीजें सर उपलब्ध नहीं हो पा रही हैं. सर उसी को ध्यान में रखते हुए हमने एक यूथ हब सेंटर बनाने की बात की थी डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे भी और ब्लॉक लेवल पे भी, जहां पर सिंगल पॉइंट एंट्री सिस्टम में उसको सारी इन योजनाओं के बारे में ट्रांसपेरेंट तरीके से और टाइम बाउंड तरीके से उसको वहां पर वो सारी चीजें मिल सके, जिससे वो अपने पोटेंशियल को पहचान सके और उसको कहाँ यूटिलाइज करना है, किस सेक्टर में जाना है, वो सारी चीजों को वो एक साथ कोलैबोरेट कर सके.
देखिए ये कि आम बात होगी कि हम भी ये कर रहे हैं, बहुत अच्छा है. एक ये है कि क्या सब अलग अलग करें कि एक ही जगह पे सब कुछ, सबकी समस्याओं का हल हो, एक प्लेटफॉर्म मिल पाए. आपका कोई सुझाव इन दो प्रेजेंटेशन हुई हैं
सर,
उसमें कुछ वैल्यू ऐड करने के लिए तो आप वो बताइए
सर
स्पेसिफिक.
सर उन दोनों प्रेजेंटेशन को सर देखा और अभी सर यूपी
अच्छी लगी.
हाँ सर बहुत अच्छा था. बस
उसमें कुछ सुझाव है
सर. तीनों प्रेजेंटेशन में सर कहीं ना कहीं थोड़े थोड़े पॉइंट्स सर मिसिंग है. अगर उनको क्लब करके एक साथ अगर चाहे सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के लेवल पे ही अगर उसको यूनाइट किया जाए तो वो सारी चीजें दूर हो सकती हैं सर.
देखिए मैं इसको अन्यथा आप लोग लड़ ले, क्या मिसिंग है वो बताना है
सर. एक तो यही मिसिंग है सर कि हम इसको डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल से सर हम ब्लॉक लेवल तक भी इसको हम लेके जाएं, ताकि इंटीरियर पार्ट्स के जो हमारे यूथ है जो सबसे ज्यादा दिशा भ्रमित है उनको हम मेन स्ट्रीम में ला सकें.
ठीक, थैंक यू
सर.
सर आई एम अभिनव कुमार, प्रिंसिपल सेक्रेटरी स्पोर्ट्स फ्रॉम उत्तराखंड ओनली. जो मेरे डायरेक्टर साहब कहना चाह रहे थे सर कि ये जो हमारे वर्चुअल स्पेस में जो एफर्ट्स हैं सर, इनको रियल वर्ल्ड में भी मतलब साकार करने के लिए we need to develop some physical centers starting with the district level and then perhaps going down to the block level, sir. क्योंकि अभी क्या हो रहा है सर कि हमारे जो अच्छी यूनिवर्सिटीज में या अच्छे स्कूल में जो यूथ पढ़ते हैं सर, उनको तो काफी अच्छी सपोर्ट सर्विसेज मिलती हैं उन इंस्टीट्यूशंस में बाय वे ऑफ करियर काउंसलिंग, जॉब फेयर्स एंड ऑल दैट। बट जो बाकी और यूथ हैं जो उन एलीट इंस्टीट्यूशन से बाहर है, उनको ये फैसिलिटी प्रोवाइड करने के लिए एक फिजिकल हब भी होना जरूरी है इन वर्चुअल एफर्ट्स के साथ सर।
यस प्लीज, टिंकू जी।
नमस्कार। मेरे छोटा सा एक सुझाव है। ये दो प्रेजेंटेशन और बाकी लोगों ने जो बोला है, हम जैसे नॉर्थ ईस्ट में छोटा प्रदेश है, तो मध्य प्रदेश और उत्तर प्रदेश, इनका पास रिसोर्स बहुत है, बहुत बड़ा प्रदेश है, तो उनका जो साइट है वहाँ पे यूज जाके सर्च कर सकता है। लेकिन मेरे ख्याल में सेंटर से, मतलब सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट से इसे एक कॉमन प्लेटफॉर्म होना चाहिए है, जिसे नॉर्थ ईस्ट के बच्चे भी ढूंढ पाए जो उत्तर प्रदेश में जाके उस कोना में मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ, और उत्तर प्रदेश वालों को भी पता चले, मतलब एक कॉमन प्लेटफॉर्म हो, एक सेम डिजाइन हो, जिसे सरकारी यूडीवी चलाते हैं या इज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस सारे प्रदेश में एक ही फॉर्मेट में है, ऐसे कोई एक फॉर्मेट में हो तो ज्यादा अच्छा है। मतलब वो सर्च करने में या हमारे ढूंढने में, या जैसे त्रिपुरा के बच्चे भी मध्य प्रदेश में कुछ जॉब ढूंढना है या कुछ वहाँ पे लिंक कर जाए तो इजी हो। मेरे ख्याल में एक कॉमन होना चाहिए, एक ही डिजाइन होना चाहिए पूरा।
Anyone else? Yes, please. Farooq ji.
I'm Farooq Alam, Commissioner and Secretary, Sports and Youth Welfare, SAM. So it's a very good thing that this Yuva portal is coming up, but we have to popularize it, sir, immediately. So that's the first aspect. And to popularize, sir, what will be the role of Education Department, Sports and Youth Affairs Department? So if you can have one SOP so that we can take immediate action so that it goes right down to the grassroots level, sir. Thank you, sir.
Anyone else? Jigar.
So with your permission, I would like to respond to few of the things, if you permit.
जरूरत नहीं है जी, ये तो feedback session।
ठीक।
If anything specific.
Okay. नहीं मैम, एक्चुअली इसमें 3-4 तरीके के डाउट्स आए हैं। दैट हैज ऑलरेडी बीन टेकन केयर, लाइक डैशबोर्ड्स हर लेवल पे मिलेंगे। सारे स्टेट्स जो हैं, हाँ, सारे स्टेट्स और सारे वो स्कीम्स जो हैं वो ऑटोमेटिकली इसमें अपडेट हो जाएंगी।
So the point about dashboards has been taken. It's a very valid point, and dashboards will be designed so that every district level officer, every commissioner will try to see whether block level dashboards can also be designed, because the data is already there. We only need to provide a user interface. तो वो सब हम दे देंगे। आपका पॉइंट बहुत अच्छा है कि उसको कैसे क्या रोल दिया जाए, कैसे पॉपुलराइज किया जाए, क्योंकि जैसे मैंने कहा कंटेंट तो भाई आप ही लोगों ने जनरेट करना है। जो सरकारी डिपार्टमेंट है वो तो हम लॉग ऑन करा ही देंगे, वो हमारा काम है कराना। बट जो कम्युनिटी बेस्ड ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, यूथ क्लब्स हैं, रेड क्रॉस है और इतनी सारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, कॉलेजेस हैं, वो DYO will reach out to everyone at the district level, and my appeal to all of you is please provide support. We are here to only showcase the efforts that are made by you. So we have noted all the suggestions made. Some of them are very good and we hope to use them to build a very useful app for it. Thank you.
So thank you all for a valuable session. One thing I would like to say, during the lunch break, I would like one Navneet ji and Deepti ji to be on my table, and couple of more officers who have some suggestions to make regard to Yuva portal, and Meeta ji will be on that table. The second table will be with the MOS Youth Affairs Nisit ji, where anyone has to give suggestions on the National Youth Festival. The ministers and the official could be present there, so that we can also compile your further any such suggestions or which you want to make, we can add on to that. उसको तब सुन लेंगे और डिटेल में।
Thank you, sir. With this, we conclude our session 1. Now we move to session 2, restructuring the National Youth Festival. For this, I invite Shri Nitesh Kumar Mishra ji, Joint Secretary Youth Affairs, to moderate the session.
Honorable Ministers on the dais, Honorable Ministers present in the meeting, Secretary Youth Affairs Government of India, Secretary and other senior officers from different states, dignitaries, good afternoon to all of you. In this session, we will discuss regarding restructuring the National Youth Festival. Here we will have a presentation by Department of Youth Affairs, and then there will be a presentation by 3 states. In UP has already done their presentation, and then we will be having an open house discussion. Since we are already late, we will be running a very tight schedule. I will now request the team from DOYA to come and make their presentation. Thank you.
In the meantime, there is a chair here. Atulya ji, you can come and sit here for the timing. Because after that, I think you have to make the presentation. और जब इनकी प्रेजेंटेशन चल रही हो तब महाराष्ट्र के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव आ जाएंगे, जब जो जाएंगे तब तक त्रिपुरा वाले आके बैठ जाएंगे ताकि समय बच जाए. You can start.
Very good afternoon, Honorable Union Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports, Anurag sir, MOS sir. Okay. So myself, Devendra Vyas, Assistant Director, and
I'm Abhay Shankar, Assistant Director, NYKs.
So today we will be talking about restructuring of National Youth Festival. So National Youth Festival was inaugurated on 1995 by the then President of India, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. And we have completed 26 editions of National Youth Festival. 26th edition was inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji in twin cities of Karnataka, Hubli, Dharwad. This is an annual event organized by Department of Youth Affairs in collaboration with one of the host state of India and NYKS and NSS. And till now we have fixed a schedule of National Youth Festival, as Honorable Ministers have said, that on 12th January, on the birth anniversary of Vivekanand ji, we start the National Youth Festival, and it is a 5-day event. We celebrate.
Sorry to intervene. Sir. Basics,
okay, sir. So need for restructuring. So need for restructuring is, as during the inauguration, Honorable Prime Minister has outlined that youth is the youth power. Because of the youth power, we need to,
So the intention is that we have had 26 years of National Youth Festival and we have done excellently. But now we need to expand our scope and we need to include the youth in a wider manner so that we move towards the vision of India at 2047, the vision of that. In order to do that, we have suggested that we expand the competitions and expand the additional programs that we conduct in association with the National Youth Festival. Can we go to the next slides, please? Next slide, please. So this is what we are proposing, that first we have group and individual events, because right now, till now, we had like folk song and folk dance competitions in group section. We are proposing that this be expanded to individual level also, existing program, that is folk dance, folk song, folk dance and folk dance for both group and individual sections, and also add a life skill component. Because what is it to be human? To have stories, because we have a story of human civilizations. So why don't we encourage our youth to tell stories, to draw pictures, to illustrate what's on their mind, to speak out, to have elocution, photography, to capture the moments in the life that surround us, and have a just a minute, like speak about topics of their choice. So just suggested topics, and we are expecting that esteemed guest would chip in during the discussion session, and we can add on to this what all competitions we can have. Next slide, please.
So these are the 5 themes which we have identified. On these themes, the competitions or workshop will be organized. So these are in line with the mission 2047, which we are talking about. The first one is youth as job creators. So as the governor sir also said कि हमें अभी मतलब youth को job seeker नहीं, job creator बनाना है. तो job creator बनाने के लिए success stories जो हैं states की, for individual की, groups की, वो success stories जो है इस National Youth Festival we can exhibit. So Honorable Minister said that it's a cooperative federalism, so we can learn from each other. तो ऐसे success models हैं जिसमें से एक स्टेट दूसरे स्टेट से सीख सकता है, एक इंडिविजुअल दूसरे स्टेट से सीख सकता है. तो फर्स्ट थीम इज यूथ एज ए जॉब क्रिएटर्स. सो एक बेस्ट सोशल एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप है या फिर बेस्ट एसएचजी जो कि वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट का एक टूल एसएचजीज है, तो ये ऐसे बहुत सारे एसएचजीज हैं जो बहुत कैपेबल हैं, दे कैन बी एज सक्सेस मॉडल्स, जो एक स्टेट में है वो दूसरे स्टेट में रेप्लिकेट हो सकता है। बेस्ट स्टार्टअप्स इन एनी सेक्टर्स, जो छोटे छोटे स्टार्टअप्स हैं इन टेक सेक्टर, इन एग्री सेक्टर, टेक्सटाइल सेक्टर, लॉट ऑफ सेक्टर्स जहाँ पे छोटे छोटे स्टार्टअप्स हैं, उसको भी शोकेस हम लोग वहाँ पे एज ए इंडिविजुअल, एज ए ग्रुप कर सकते हैं। सेकेंड थिंग इज एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत, तो ऐसे ही बहुत सारे इनिशिएटिव्स हैं, द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स और डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन भी ऐसे इनिशिएटिव्स लेता है जहाँ पे एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत के जो ग्रुप है, जो इवेंट्स हैं, ग्रुप हैं जो ऐसे बहुत अच्छा करते हैं, वो ग्रुप को भी यहाँ पे शोकेस किया जा सकता है। और जैसे डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ यूथ अफेयर्स भी एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत है, वो अलग अलग कैंप्स ऑर्गेनाइज करता है, इंटर स्टेट यूथ एक्सचेंज, नेशनल इंटीग्रेशन, नॉर्थ ईस्ट स्टेट यूथ एक्सचेंज प्रोग्राम, नेशनल यूथ फेस्टिवल। तो उसमें जो बेस्ट कैंप मेंबर्स हैं, इन EBSB में क्या होता है, दे पीपल लर्न अबाउट ईच अदर्स कल्चर, जो यूथ है कल्चर के बारे में 10 सेंटेंस है, कोई उड़िया है वो उड़िया जाता है साउथ में, तमिल वो 10 सेंटेंस तमिल के सीखता है, तमिल जो समवन फ्रॉम तमिलनाडु वो जाता है कश्मीर में, तो कश्मीर में से 10 कश्मीरी लैंग्वेज सीखता है। तो वहां पे नेशनल यूथ फेस्टिवल में दे कैन एक्ट एज ब्रांड एम्बेसडर ऑफ यूनिटी इन डाइवर्सिटी। सो वहां पे आके वो लोग एक दूसरे से इंटरेक्ट करके दे कैन प्ले एज ए रोल मॉडल ऑफ एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत। नेक्स्ट वन इज एज ए ब्रॉड थीम इज ए साइंस फॉर सोसाइटी, science and technology for society. As this year we are celebrating the International Year of Millets 2023. So improving millets production through science. साइंस मॉडल्स हैं, जैसे हमारे स्कूल्स में भी हैं साइंस क्लब्स हैं, हमारे कॉलेजेस में साइंस क्लब्स हैं, टेक्नोलॉजी क्लब्स हैं, रोबोटिक्स क्लब्स हैं, बहुत सारे क्लब्स होते हैं। तो थ्रू दोज क्लब्स हम लोग मिलेट्स का प्रोडक्शन कैसे बढ़ा सकते हैं, एक जो बिहेवियरल चेंज होता है कि हमारे डाइट में कैसे मिलेट्स को इंक्लूड किया जा सकता है। जैसे फिट इंडिया एट गुड एग्जांपल जो ऐप है वो आपका पूरा स्पोर्ट्स का या फिटनेस का ट्रैक करता है। सो व्हाई नॉट वी कैन गिव ए प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट कि हमारे यूथ को भी कि आप एक मिलेट के लिए आप एक ऐप बनाइए जिसमें ऐसा हो कि वो रेगुलर डाइट में कैसे आ सकता है, मिलेट्स के फायदे क्या हैं, कितना न्यूट्रिशन है, वो सब एक ऐप में आए। तो जस्ट दिस इज अ सिंपल प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट कि एक ऐप में कैसे आ सकता है। उसके बाद मिलेट्स में जैसे एग्री यूनिवर्सिटीज होते हैं उनको प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट दिया जा सकता है, उनका प्रोडक्शन कैसे बढ़ा सकते हैं। नेक्स्ट वन इज हेल्थ एंड फिटनेस, जो एडवेंचर कैंप्स हैं, एडवेंचर स्पोर्ट्स हैं, उनको पॉपुलराइज करते हैं। तो जैसे हमारे यहाँ पे जैसे रिवर राफ्टिंग है, जॉर्बिंग है, ये एक मतलब बहुत बड़े स्केल पे भी होता है, बट कुछ डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स में, कुछ विलेजेस में, कुछ ब्लॉक्स में ऐसे छोटे छोटे एडवेंचर कैंप्स, एडवेंचर गेम्स होते हैं जो इतने आइडेंटिफाइड नहीं है, इतने पॉपुलर नहीं है। तो जो छोटा ग्रुप जो इनको ऑर्गेनाइज करता है, वाई कैन नॉट दे कम फॉरवर्ड नेशनल यूथ फेस्टिवल में, वो अपने प्रेजेंटेशन दे, एंड इफ दैट टेरेन परमिट्स वो क्यों ना डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन दे। तो उनको आइडेंटिफाई करना डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे, स्टेट लेवल पे। देन जो लास्ट ईयर 26th NYF taking inspiration from Honorable Minister Sir, first time National Youth Festival में indigenous game का demonstration हुआ। तो 7 to 8 teams were demonstrated the indigenous games, and our Commissioner Sir from Karnataka is also there. He has witnessed कि मतलब बहुत सारे लोग, the local people were also मतलब वहाँ पे expose हुए उसके indigenous games कितने ज़्यादा, मतलब people were on edge of their seat थ्रू आउट द इंडिया, जो 3-4 दिन पे डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन हुआ। एंड योगा डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन, ऑब्वियसली वी हैव गिवन द वर्ल्ड योगा। योगा डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन में जो बेस्ट योगा टीचर्स हैं और एनी अदर इनोवेशन इन द फील्ड ऑफ योगा जो स्टेट्स ने किया है, दैट ऑल्सो कैन बी डेमोन्स्ट्रेटेड और प्रेजेंटेड देयर।
जैसे सर ने बताया था, इसमें और भी चीजें हैं, जैसे लाइक इट कैन ऑल्सो बी अ पॉजिटिव कैंपेन ऑन हाउ टू हैव अ प्रोडक्टिव लाइफ अवॉइडिंग ड्रग्स। There is a drug menace is actually affecting youth, sir. We can also have
2 minute बचते हैं आपकी presentation.
Models on drugs and also on mental health is a new issue that can also be added to this. So we can present the best models. Next is on Mission Life. We are having a issue. There is no Planet B. So we need to integrate Mission Life onto the lifestyle of every citizen, especially the youth, because they are going to be the leaders of tomorrow. And next, it's about Yuva Kriti. That is the arts and craft exhibition that we have been doing every year. So the suggestion is that we expand the scope of this Yuva Kriti to include 2 more things. That is, one is textiles and second is agro-based products. Because India is the land of textiles from Harappan era, so we have cotton, we had cotton. So now what we can do is we have more than 35 traditions of handlooms, and also we have this fusion textiles coming up. So we can have models where how we can showcase the new innovations in this sector onto this Yuva Kriti exhibition cum sales platforms. Every year we sell out in the second day itself, it doesn't go to the 5 days. So this is one thing we can do.
This is a competition strategy, so every state will be allocated one theme. On that theme, on these activities, these activities are only suggestive. States are free to add any more activities. So competition selection, competition strategy क्या होगी कि हर state जो theme allocate होता है from district, they'll organize one competition and district to state. The competition will culminate on the state level, so that on national level, the best of the best state का है वो स्टेट वाले वो रिप्रेजेंट वहाँ पे नेशनल यूथ फेस्टिवल में कर सके. नेक्स्ट, दिस इज सजेस्टिव ब्रेकअप ऑफ द पार्टिसिपेंट्स. 100 स्टेट का 100 पार्टिसिपेंट का जो कंटीजेंट होता है, तो दिस इज
नॉट अ हार्ड एंड फास्ट कॉम्पोजिशन लाइक स्टेट्स. सम स्टेट्स में हैव सम मोर इनोवेशन, सम अदर सेक्टर. सो दिस इज अगेन ओपन टू, इट्स फ्लेक्सिबल डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द स्टेट्स इंटरेस्ट, बट दिस इज जस्ट एन इंडिकेटिव ब्रेकअप ऑफ 100. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज.
These are the activities which are organized by host states and NYKS and NSS. So which are young artists with painting, sculpture, adventure camp में, that I have already mentioned. Adventure camp में absorbing activities होती हैं, food festival and the music shows. Next, this is the proposed calendar. Today, this month we will identify the themes and allocate activities. Yes, drop. Yes, Yes. So identify your themes. Today we'll be identifying, we'll be allotting the themes, and by May the states can finalize the activities, and from July to September the district and state level competition can be held. On the final state contingent in October, November, the final state finalization of state contingent can be done. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation. And now we have a presentation from the state of Tamil Nadu.
Honorable Minister, sirs, I will just initiate it and then my colleague will take it over. Sir, in 2008 we had conducted the Chennai Youth Festival, and the Youth Festival has totally changed from those days, and it has become it is on a much bigger canvas. Our main suggestions are, sir, that to make it broad-based, we have to conduct state youth festivals now so that the best of the districts can come in. As of now, it is basically an NSS, NYKS affair. We have to bring more youth to it, sir. We also wish that there could be artist camp, photography and short film camps, and if possible, a fashion show on ethnic costumes by involving NIFT. These are base suggestions, sir, and the rest will be shown in a PPT by my colleague.
Tamil Nadu PPT, please. Honorable dignitaries on and off the dais, அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். Next slide. Sir, we all know that the rising aspirations and dynamic expectations of youth will also have a spillover effect on the largest youth congregation, that is National Youth Festival. So it is with this understanding that we are looking at restructuring and reimagining the National Youth Festival. And we all know the present architecture and the all-encompassing nature of the present architecture. Next. When we reimagine and relook at it, we relook at it from the perspective of intergenerational cultural spaces. When we say this, the idea is, we all know that culture is an important binding factor in our country. We also, beyond that, we also look at it as a knowledge transfer tool, particularly on the platform of National Youth Festival. When we say IGCS, what we mean is that the buzzwords that we would like to highlight here is collaboration and co-creation. Basically, across the full spectrum of the design and implementation of National Youth Festival, the youth will guide the entire exercise. That's what we mean by intergenerational cultural spaces. Next. So, looking at the reimagine and restructuring perspective, a few ideas that we thought we will present here is: one, the increase in number of competitive events with focus on team and group events rather than individual events, because the team and group events will bring in the element of teamwork, team spirit, and will be able to bring in larger number of participants in the entire festival. and participation in non-competitive events through district and state level selection procedures, a strict selection procedure, so that the best talent would be available at National Youth Festival. Inclusive spaces, we speak a lot on Divyang empowerment and transgender rights these days, and we strongly believe that the National Youth Festival should reflect what we speak at the national level on Divyang rights and transgender rights. We all know the kind of power that our para athletes show on the world stage. So if that could be done, why not their talent across culture and other spaces with NYF as the platform. Youth exchange is something that we feel should happen in the run-up to the National Youth Festival, so that youth from various states can visit other states, probably 1 or 2 states, partner states could be created, and then they can have a feel of what will happen at the National Youth Festival. We also believe that youth parliaments, both at National Youth Festival and taking inspiration from it at district and state levels, probably one theme could be selected every year, and the teams from the states could be encouraged to speak, as part of the National Youth Parliament. Also with an idea that it will deepen the democratic process and make them understand the importance of the democracy in this country. Themes in focus we have all discussed, but we also felt Digital India could be an important theme that we should not miss on NYF platform. Startup India's, the kind of startup power that we are seeing should be made visible on the stage. Gig economy, most of the youth in our country are part of gig economy in one way or the other, and that should be presented there. Upskilling and entrepreneurship, which is the recurrent theme that we are all talking about today, should be part of our NYF platform. And NYF compendium is what another thing that we felt about. On various thematic events, there should be a compendium co-created by the youth by the end of the National Youth Festival. Next, please. So, and in the existing framework, we looked at New Generation Art Box, Canvas of Collaboration, Fusion Food, Nature Walks and Heritage Walks, and Youth Summit. Next. When we say New Generation Art Box, when we bring either competitive or non-competitive events, the idea is to focus on contemporary forms and styles of expression, particularly recognition of digital art forms and non-conventional mediums, where youth spend most of their time these days, like short films, documentaries, animation art, stand-up comedies, and digital posters. Next. A canvas of collaboration, this could be basically in the non-competitive mode, basically to create a mural made from art forms of different states, to highlight the spatial and chronological expanse of art evolution of our rich country. Also, it will stand as a symbol of unity and integration, the guiding principle of Ek Bharat and Shresth Bharat. Next. Fusion food, the guiding philosophy being integration through ingredients. That's the idea. Rather than showcasing just our cuisine, we can create a concept of fusion food where people can adopt other styles and bring in a fusion food to the food festival. Last. Next. Nature walks and heritage walks, we do have a mindfulness session in the morning, so that could be converged with the nature walks and heritage walks, with the emphasis on storytelling by the youth who come over there and tell the stories from their own regions and states. Next. Youth Summit, of the youth, for the youth, and by the youth. Rather, the critical thing here being the shift from lecture mode to a workshop model, and suggestive themes being understanding religion in all forms, since we are commemorating Swami Vivekananda, which is an extremely important thing. Upskilling and entrepreneurship, voting as a democratic right, mental health matters, which should be spoken about, for this day youth, and substance abuse and gender rights. Next. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Now I request a representative from Maharashtra. Thank you so much, and that will be followed by a presentation by Tripura.
Thank you, sir. Respected dignitaries. May I have the presentation, please? So sorry, we are just talking about an idea, ma'am, because I have see. The whole idea here we are talking about is agriculture being the backbone of this country. Youth in agriculture need to be given a special attention. Problem with agriculture in state like Maharashtra, where agriculture is basically doing so well, we are #1 in most of the exports. That is and nobody wants to be in agriculture anymore. How do we attract youth in agriculture? How do you make agriculture more attractive, more fashionable, more technology driven, where the youth can take aspiration to be an agriculturist, to be a professional in agriculture business? And that is where I think the theme should see the point of entire having this youth festivals to inspire youth, to inspire them to do something through which they can contribute to the society, to the contribution of national development. And that is where I'm coming from. Next, please. Next, please. Around 58% of the agriculture workforce is below the age of 40. 52%, two examples, UP, Bihar, Maharashtra, more than 52% youth are engaged in agriculture. 12.9% is employment route. We have a best option or a best scene where we can actually promote youth to do something in agriculture, because that's what you cannot change that number in recent years, because we have a good technological ecosystem thriving. More than 50,000 startups in India in 2021. Social entrepreneurship is also increasingly, people are now interested. Literacy rate is also rising. So this is a good ecosystem where we can actually look at it in a different way. Next, please. Maharashtra, as I said, we are highest average GDP, 30% population is within this particular range. What we have, we are number one in production, we are number one in exports in many things, and so 22% of agri-tech startups in India belongs to Maharashtra, and out of many of those startups, they belong to in the sector of agriculture. And around 47.50% of youth workers engage in agri-allied activities. So when you talk about youth festivals, when you talk about all these things, most of the time urban or peri-urban youths are normally engaged. Now what we are saying that we must encourage, we must acknowledge efforts taken by youths in agriculture sector. We must promote those youths to do something better, and which is, which can be example for the entire country. I'm just giving you few examples, sir. These are the case studies or the case which can inspire this particular dialogue here, and we can come up with certain ideas which can be incorporated in our youth festival. Next, please. So adopting, what are they doing? What are they doing? So we are adopting new technologies and scientific methods, mechanization, IoT based solutions, integrated pest management systems, soil testing, etc. Government initiatives, there are definite government initiatives in terms of financial assistance, training, marketing, etc. But most importantly, we are now looking at climate resilient smart agriculture, which is very important in terms of climate resilient technologies. This is precision farmings, ICT interventions, and of course agri startups. Agri startups are focused in the areas such as agri-tech, farm to fork supply chains, and sustainable agriculture. These are the areas I think we should concentrate on in our basic themes, where you must promote these young entrepreneurs, young agriculturists who are doing something in these sectors. Next, please. Next, please. I'm just giving you a few examples. Crop subsidy initiative. This is an example could be set for the entire country. Pest in agriculture is a major disaster. Now, more than 80,000 youths agriculture youths are engaged in this, where we are giving them a platform where they basically become partners with the government. They give lot of inputs on pest incidence, pest progression, pest infestation in various crops. The entire data is collected centrally, and then agriculture advisories are issued, and then control measures are taken. The most of the important success story is if you understand agriculture, in cotton, the fall armyworm is the major challenge, where the entire crop is swept away in weeks' time. With this crop sap, we are now, for last 10 years, there is not a single incidence of fall armyworm in cotton. We are not doing it for 22 different crops, and most of these basically farmers are youngsters. Next, please. Sahyadri is a success story. 18,000 farmers, most of them are young farmers. They are engaged in basically developing a supply chain. It started with grape. Now they are doing vegetables, then other fruits also, where the Sahyadri is again a farmer organization, gives them inputs, scientific know-how. They give them entire end-to-end blockchain technology solution and then marketing. This has revolutionized the entire agriculture supply chain. These youths, whatever they have done needs to be acknowledged, and these kind of components should be included. Next, please. I'll just give you two and then I'll stop. Kisan Connect started with 11 youths came together, started this app. It was a WhatsApp group. Now it has completely transformed into an IoT-based solution company. They are using technologies. They are now gathering. They have their own pack houses, their own marketing channels, And this is complete D2C, direct to customer service initiative, which was, next please. And this is the last one, COVID Wedge initiative. More than 22,000 farmer groups, mostly women, mostly young women farmers, participated in this. It started as a COVID initiative where they collected vegetables and supplied to cities, but then we realized there is huge potential in peri-urban areas also. And now that has been established. These groups are now thriving. There are more than 44,000 groups which are now engaged in supply of various food items and vegetables to urban cities. Next please. Science Food Society, again a very good initiative, dehydration technology for food preservation and food chain. More than 800 micro entrepreneurs, mostly women run, are basically engaged, and they are now catering to 18,000 different other enterprises. And again, this has become a huge kind of a business initiative among youth. So, sir, my request would be, we need to acknowledge these things. And then youth in agriculture is very neglected community. And I think if we could incorporate something in this, we will definitely, for science and technology, would be going for Maharashtra, and we will be definitely focusing on particular youth engaged in agriculture henceforth. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your presentation, sir. And now I request a representative from Tripura.
Namaskar, sir. Dignitaries on the dais and dignitaries who are available in this august house. Basically, the restructuring of National Youth Festival is derived from the lessons learned from the 26th National Youth Festival held in Karnataka. With the Prime Minister's speech there, the can-do spirit of our Yuva Shakti. Can I go to the... Yeah, next. Spirit of Yuva Shakti inspires everyone. And there were certain other themes. Then basically the theme was that Vikshit Yuva and Vikshit Bharat, the diverse cultures on a platform, single platform. So these are all the lessons we have learned from the National Youth Festival held there earlier. Tripura is a hilly state with a composite culture of, next slide please, 19 tribes, Bengalis and Manipuri. The Youth Affairs Department has been doing the routine activities. Apart from that, we give priority for mobilizing the youth forces towards the right direction from the lessons we learned from the National Youth Festival held last. Next. The empowering the youths via various activities actually is being emphasized so that the success stories which are being built up out of this empowering the youths can be the success stories when we go to organize the next National Youth Festival. These are creating sustainable environment. We engage the youths with the Pollution Control Board against the single-use disposables, tree plantation and other activities. Enabling youth to provide youth services, we also engage the youth in leadership building exercises. We train them. We also emphasize on imparting quality education in schools and colleges, skills and vocational education, building entrepreneurship in collaboration with various departments. Then there is emphasis on adventure sports, healthy behavior and lifestyle. We go for IC activities on HIV and AIDS, and then we also go for formation of the youth clubs, youth participation for disaster management, social welfare and training for self-defense, particularly for the women volunteers. We also engage the clubs for various other activities and protection of youth from drug abuse. For that we conduct different sports activities, street drama, seminars in 22 degree colleges in Tripura. we also focus on disabilities and youth at a risk. Then we conduct awareness by the NSS on the use of social media, because there is cybercrime. With the help of the police, cybercrime department cell, we organize those type of awareness activities so that the youths are not involved in cyber crimes also. Then we want to inculcate the youth on patriotism, harmony, national integration. Next, please. Next, please. Yeah. Then we focus on gender empowerment. And we have planned for the next 4.5 years so that we can accomplish those gender empowerment through financial assistance to female students. Then Mukhya Mantri Kanna Atmanirbhar Yojana, there will be, to the meritorious students will be given scooty. Then initiating the state talent research scheme, launching mission Atmanirbhar Mahila Prakalpa, then promoting women SHGs. Then we focus on Unnato Tripura and Shrestha Yuva in the next few years. Self-employment opportunity to the interested youths, launching Tripura Sainik Abhiyan so that they can make entry in the armed forces or police recruitment. Launching of the Tripura Agni Veer program, initiating Samarth Tripura Abhiyan in financial, digital literacy and soft skills, ensuring gymnasium background in every Gram Panchayat, establishing Tripura Skill University, then Skill Development Corporation for the youths. We also want to have Chief Minister's Fellowship Program to encourage the youths so that they can become professionals. Free coaching centers for the youths, then establishing the Sachindra Burman Performing Arts Academy so that we can popularize the folk dance, music, theatre and encouraging the activities associated with them. Then we have Nasha Mukt Abhijan, which is very important because the youths are nowadays indulging in various drug abuses. Campaign is going on. We want to launch the campaign with an investment of 150 crores in the state. Integrated Rehabilitation Center will be set up and task force will monitor the impact of the de-addiction measures. There is a suggestion for inclusion of some indigenous games and indigenous dances like Hojagiri, Shangrai, Mahamiza, which are very popular in the state. So the youth are engaged in this, even at the national level, youth festival. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, representative from Tripura. Now we have the house is open for discussion, and we are only 5 minutes late than our schedule, so we are keeping 15 minutes for this, with the permission of chair, sir.
Sir, there is a request, two things. One is if you could include the subject of idea of India 2047. So you spread the idea down to the last level. And the second thing is you are suggesting the competitive stuff should start from district. No, but you please start it from block level, yeah, because it will give a lot of spread to the subjects which you are you have identified. And if it goes to the block level, it will not be much difference, except that if we, like UP has to do it, we have to do it at 885 places. We will do it, but the whole subject, the idea would go down to the block level, and that is the more mass involvement of the youth. And the third suggestion is that please don't limit the number of participants. Last time said 100 से ज़्यादा नहीं आएगा. अब 40-50 तो उसी में हो जाता है कल्चर प्रोग्राम में, बाकियों को कैसे भेजेगा? तो 2-4 आगे पीछे ऑप्शन होना चाहिए. Thank you.
नमस्कार. नमस्कार, मैं अरूप विश्वास, मैं मिनिस्टर हूँ बंगाल गवर्नमेंट से. आई एम लुकिंग आफ्टर द यूथ एंड स्पोर्ट्स as well as the power and housing. Respected Anurag ji, Nishtish ji. Actually, we are discussing about the National Youth Festival. मैं चाहता हूँ ये National Youth Festival emphasize on the cultural side. There is the other side we have discussed about the sports and games. We should be concentrated on the cultural side. 15 to 20 events it will be there. हमारा बंगाल में हम लोग ब्लॉक लेवल से हमारा स्टूडेंट यूथ फेस्टिवल होता है, नीतीश जी को पता होगा. ब्लॉक लेवल से डिस्ट्रिक्ट, डिस्ट्रिक्ट से स्टेट. तो 15-20 इवेंट होने से हम लोग वैसे ही रेडी करके जाएंगे हर स्टेट से. तब एक कंपटीशन होगा जिसमें हम लोग, इट शुड बी एक टैलेंट सर्चिंग प्रोग्राम जहां से हम लोग फ्यूचर का फ्यूचर्स को ढूंढेंगे. ये अच्छा होगा. नहीं इतना कुछ जो कॉम्प्लिकेटेड इतना सब्जेक्ट हो जा रहा है, मेरे ख्याल ये ऑर्गेनाइज करने में 2 महीना में हो नहीं सकता है इतना बड़ा स्टेट में. तो बहुत सारे सब्जेक्ट, इट शुड बी रिस्ट्रिक्टेड ऑन 15 to 20 events. देन इट शुड बी हमारे पूरा कंफर्टेबल होगा स्टेट में करने के लिए, क्योंकि इतना ब्लॉक करके, डिस्ट्रिक्ट करके, स्टेट करके फिर आपके वहां जाने के लिए हमको तैयारी करने में बहुत टाइम लगता है. 2 महीना इनफ नहीं है, तो इसमें रिस्ट्रिक्टेड होना चाहिए.
Good afternoon, everyone. नेशनल यूथ फेस्टिवल में ज़्यादातर देखते हैं कि कल्चरल सेक्टर का ज़्यादा ये होता है. थोड़ा सा उसमें गाइड करना चाहती हूँ, हो सकता है मे भी सही हो सकता है, गलत भी हो सकता है. इसमें इंक्लूड करना चाहूँगी ओलंपिक नॉलेज कंपटीशन. ओलंपिक नॉलेज कंपटीशन चूँकि यूथ पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं, जब ओलंपिक्स गेम होती है तो हम यूथ को ज़्यादा प्रायोरिटी देते हैं, तो इसलिए. दूसरा चीज़ है कि स्पोर्ट्स कंपटीशन यूज़ कर सकते हैं, बट हम उसमें 5 इंडिजिनस स्पोर्ट्स गेम्स को यूज़ कर सकते हैं. इसलिए चूंकि अदर कंट्री जो होते हैं इसी तरह गेम, अपना लोकल गेम को यूज़ करते हैं और उसी में से इन्वेंट करते हैं, तो हम भी, हमारे लिए भी एक स्टेज बनेगा इस तरह का. 5 इंडिजिनस गेम को अगर हम लोग इसमें लाएंगे, जो लोकल इवेंट पूरे ऑल ओवर इंडिया में जो भी होता है, फर्स्ट टाइम 5 इवेंट ला सकते हैं जो कॉम्पिटिटिव स्पोर्ट्स होगा. तीसरा इंक्लूड कर सकते हैं डिस्कशन ऑन ओलंपिक वैल्यूज. ओलंपिक वैल्यूज मीन्स रेस्पेक्ट, फ्रेंडशिप एंड एक्सीलेंट, जिसका यूथ जो परफॉर्मेंस की बात करते हैं वहां आती है, जिसमें कि हो सकता है जेंडर इक्विटी एंड इक्वलिटी इन स्पोर्ट्स, डोपिंग, मैनिपुलेशन और ब्राइवरी और करप्शन, like that, good governance in sports, media in sports, like that. So ये मेरा just suggestion है. Thank you.
Sir, I am Ravindran Shankaran, DG Sports Authority Bihar. My simple suggestion is, these days youth are very much active with respect to crossword puzzles. So crossword puzzle should be included. And number 2 is, they are more now into e-sport. So if these 2 can be included, that will be great, sir. Thank you. And if Bihar has given these 2 to be conducted, we will definitely do it. Thank you.
Sir, I think we have to focus more on the training programs and this seminar. This is one. And if we want to increase the magnitude, then we have to involve the foreign exchange program. These are my 2 suggestions.
So my suggestion is more in terms of the institutionalization of the youth festival and how we can take gains from it. So like everything has an alumni network, you know, most institutions have an alumni network. If we can think of an alumni of the previous youth festival participants, their awardees, and the cross-learning between them, that is a bond which remains for a long time. So if we can think of some way of institutionalizing this. Second, so the entire organization of these youth festivals, for obvious reasons, it gets very concentrated by the government. It's run by the government, and you have a couple of youth volunteers who have been working with you for a long time. आप उनको trust करते हैं, उनसे कराते हैं. So in almost all good institutions, like if you have the IITs and you have the universities, these kind of festivals are conceptualized, designed, done by the youth themselves. So if we can, like the previous youth participants, the youth festival participants, if we can involve them in the organization also of the youth festival, and they come from various states. So this entire concept of a nation as a whole, and the organization of the festival, that itself is a very good experience in terms of both learning, in terms of capacity building, in terms of leadership development, and those bonds would remain forever. So that doesn't remain a one-off exercise. It becomes something which keeps continuing and which keeps getting added over a period of time. That is my.
So Deepti, that is an excellent suggestion. And what the format we have suggested is that while the theme will be allocated today by a draw of lots, how you want to conceptualize it, what activities you choose is your baby. You want to involve some student organization to conceptualize and execute it, your baby. All we have said is that you must hold competitions at district level at least to select competitors. If Sehgal wishes to hold at block level, that is the state's outlook. हम आपको सिर्फ इतना बता रहे हैं कि थीम्स यहाँ से डिसाइड होके आज ड्रॉ ऑफ लॉट्स में एलोकेट होगी. उसका आपको कंसेप्ट क्या करना है आप देखिए.
मैम, मेरा कहना कुछ थोड़ा सा इससे भिन्न था. ये तो हम लोग जो करेंगे अपने स्टेट पे तो करेंगे. मेरा कहना था कि अगर हम इसको नेशनल यूथ फेस्टिवल का लेबल दे रहे हैं, so that the national part of it in terms of thing that can be better accentuated, better strengthened if we think of a mechanism like this. It's something which is open for suggestion and discussion. It's just a suggestion. And the second was very small thing is my feedback on the second aspect, which is regarding the life skill component. If that right now, the way it is structured in terms of the poster making and the storytelling and all that, if that can be slightly changed in terms of a little more of the contemplative and reflective experiences, which become very useful things which these children take back. Otherwise, again, it becomes a comparative exercise rather than, there's no life skill which you're actually developing through that particular module. You can't do it in 3 days or 4 days time. So if that, we can have some, there are people who work on this, and we have our own organizations who work on that. So if that can be just a little bit thought about, so that actually, you go back with some particular...
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. This is Mulle Mihilan from Karnataka, sir. Sir, our suggestion is that the National Youth Festival can become a all throughout the year program, probably enabled by the portal, which can have all these events and competitions right from the block level to the top can be captured through those portals, and also discussion forums can be enabled in that portal where continuously there is discussion and everything. And we had this youth summit and Suvichar where experts or achievers from specific fields were brought to interact with youth who are participating in the NYF. If youth can select their area of interest, people who are already working in a particular area of interest and who have participated in things like that, if they are brought in, then probably they can take back a new inspiration and they can have specific interaction with those achievers in the field. And particularly for areas like Digital India and startups and entrepreneurship and all that, problem statements from public sector can be thrown out to the youth right at the beginning itself, and students and startups, they can actually find solutions and they can come there, and even you can bring in, make it as a platform where venture capitalists, startups, achievers can come and they also interact with them. The third and last point is, sir, particularly for areas like adventure sports, yoga and indigenous games, we can go from a demo mode to a workshop mode, and the outcome could be a certificate. So it's possible, sir, for an adventure sport or this thing. So I go to a National Youth Festival with a specific purpose, and I actually come back with a skill which I learn in that particular 3 to 5 days. Thank you, sir.
Sir, my suggestion is regarding organization, not about restructuring, sir. Sir, I'm Raju Basnet, Secretary Sports from Sikkim, sir. सर ये रिसेंटली कंक्लूडेड जो कर्नाटका में यूथ फेस्टिवल हुआ सर, वहाँ से एब्रप्टली टीएडीए देना बंद कर दिया सर स्टेट्स कंटिंजेंट को. नेक्स्ट थिंग इज ये जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन होता है सर, वेन्यू लास्ट मिनट तक फिक्स नहीं होता है सर. सो फॉर अस हु कम्यूट फ्रॉम स्टेट्स लाइक सिक्किम, इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू सेंड अ कंटिंजेंट. Last time also we had to book an entire bogie and then get it attached to some train, which was so difficult to get that we almost had to knock every door at the center and the ministry everywhere. So I request if the venue can be fixed at least 3 or 4 months in advance, and then the TADA could be given to the state contingents. Thank you, sir.
Right. I am from Chhattisgarh. Sir, I would like to suggest, if possible, we can include different segment of bhajan gayak for youth, bhajan gaiki, and then ghazal gaiki, and then I would second, e-sports is a massive sport now. Youth are playing, and globally it is played. It is into Asian Games also introduced, and we have won medals also. So you know much about sports. These three are our suggestions, sir.
Sir, we have been defining youth on the basis of age. So what I was thinking is, sir, Farooq Alam, Assam, sir.
सबके आगे उनकी स्टेट का एक प्लेकार्ड रख दीजिए ताकि सिर्फ उठा के बता दें तो मुझे स्टेट का नाम पता चल जाएगा, मैं स्टेट का नाम दूंगा.
So I was just thinking few minutes back, so why not define youth? We can give a tag word or a tag sentence to each of the letters of the word youth. For example, Y can be young mind, O can be open to ideas, U can be united we stand, T is thoughtful, H is hardworking, something like that. That definition from the ministry, if it comes, that will be good, sir. And the second thing regarding the life skill thing, story writing and also, we can have a compilation after the event is over, so that they get the writers, they get one recognition also. So photographs also, we can have one album also, we can send it to their schools or colleges or universities and to the concerning participant also, sir. Thank you, sir.
Namaskar, sir. I'm Vikramaditya Singh from Himachal Pradesh, Minister for Youth Services and Sports. Honorable Anurag ji and all esteemed members present here. It is an honor for me to be present here and representing my state. आज जो ये National Youth Festival पे जो annual event है, a lot of things have been spoken in terms of culture, lifestyle and thematic and Yuva Kirti, but something that I think needs to be dwelt upon is the climatic changes and the global warming that is happening, and we are a signatory to the Green Initiative as a state also and a nation also. Something in that regard should also be harped upon, which I believe will help the coming generations to make them more aware about the climatic changes that are happening in the state. So whatever different things in terms of what I was seeing in Maharashtra, short films and documentaries being done, and in natural heritage walks and different things are being done. And I want to harp upon, जिस पे मैं अपना emphasis देना चाहता हूँ कि it should be done in consonance with global warming. That is something that needs to be harped upon, and maybe that also can be brought in at some sphere. Thank you.
Sir, as a precursor to the youth festival, and can we think of creating youth icons which can be recognized at that platform through kind of some challenges which can be precursor to the event, starting right way, like some kind of fitness challenge, some kind of a community service challenge, that those kind of challenges which can be created right now, 8-10 challenges, and those 8-10 icons can be then felicitated at the final event, those who meet up those challenges or come first on those challenges, sir. Sir, secondly, sir had mentioned about the duties part rather than the rights part. So we have, for example, sir, we have so many apps on the gaming, speed breakers, and we have, but we don't have any single app which is telling about the best scoring according to what is a good driving, what is a good law following. So can we have development of app on the experiential learning and following the law through experiential learning, how to drive on a street rather than doing the speed driving, whether you're meeting up the points with a good driver, with a good. So this is one example. There can be on the other side, the sustainability, on the green side, how do you do the sustainable living? So that experiential learning through the apps, but on the positive side, not on the negative side, like the speed driving or something. So this is the two suggestions.
नमस्कार सर, मैं सीताराम लांबा राजस्थान से हूँ। सर बहुत अच्छे सजेशन आए और मैं स्पेशली मेंशन करना चाहता हूँ जो तमिलनाडु की पीपीटी है उसमें बहुत ही पावरफुल सजेशंस हैं और स्पेशली जैसे कि शॉर्ट फिल्म मेकिंग और इनको भी जगह दी जाए ताकि जो युवा इस समय जिस फील्ड में अपना करियर भी बनाना चाहते हैं वहाँ पर उनको जगह मिल पाए। दूसरा सर मेरा एक सजेशन है कि जो हमारा यूथ फेस्टिवल्स में यूथ अवार्डीज जो हम लोग देते हैं यूथ अवार्ड्स उनको उसके बाद कोई हम फैसिलिटी नहीं देते, तो जिस तरह से नेशनल में जो हमारे प्लेयर्स को हम लोग पैसा भी देते हैं, उनको आगे फैसिलिटेट भी करते हैं, उनको आगे बढ़ने के मौके देते हैं, वैसे ही हमें हमारे यूथ अवार्डीज को भी मौके देने चाहिए। और उसमें थोड़ा सर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट और सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के जो कोऑर्डिनेशंस है उसमें थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम है, तो प्रॉपर सर एक कोऑर्डिनेशन ज़रूर होना चाहिए। और एक जो हमारा नेशनल यूथ फेस्टिवल है उसमें हम चाहते हैं जैसा कि आपने भी कहा कि नीचे स्टेट में ज़िले में कंपटीशन हो, स्टेट में कंपटीशन देन वो आए, बट स्टेट में इतने पर्टिकुलर इस चीज़ के लिए फंड्स नहीं होते, तो हम ऊपर तो फंड्स लगाते हैं पर नीचे हम लोग फंड्स देते नहीं हैं। तो थोड़ा अगर स्टेट्स में इसके लिए हम देंगे तो ज़्यादा बेहतर तरीके से स्टेट भी काम कर पाएंगे और अच्छी प्रतिभाएं निकल कर अलग अलग क्षेत्रों से आगे आएंगी। थैंक यू सर।
तो दैट सब म्यूजिक को लेके मैं जरूर कहना चाहूंगा कि ना सिर्फ गजल या भजन सिंगिंग बट इवन द मोर मॉडर्न फॉर्म्स ऑफ म्यूजिक विच एंगेज द यूथ अ लॉट मोर इंक्लूडिंग मतलब यू नो maybe more western forms of music, they should also be included in the festival because I definitely think that will increase the interest and participation. Similarly sir, the other current obsession of our youth is social media. तो सोशल मीडिया पे आधारित अगर कुछ कॉम्पिटिशन्स यूथ फेस्टिवल में रखे जाएं या कुछ इवेंट्स रखे जाएं लाइक अ टिकटॉक कॉम्पिटिशन और समथिंग लाइक दैट, परहैप्स दैट वुड आल्सो इंक्रीज द इंटरेस्ट लेवल एंड पार्टिसिपेशन इन द यूथ फेस्टिवल्स।
Good afternoon, sir. This is Vasim Raja, Additional Secretary, Youth Service and Sport, J&K. I have a couple of suggestions, sir. The first one is that we must have a tagline and then go for a strong pre-event publicity of the youth festival so that it creates a level of inquisitiveness among the youth beforehand. Then we must also look at the takeaways of the event, sir. I believe that the youth in the tribal areas, they need special sessions of capacity building in these festivals so that they are able to earn their livelihood. For example, if somebody wants to set up a small adventure hire equipment shop, he must know what to do about that and what are the government schemes that would help him in that. So similarly, there are so many youth who are innovators and who have developed and who have invented a lot of gadgets. They need to be provided a platform in these youth festivals, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now they will be drawing of lots for the assignment of themes for organizing events to different states and union territories for the 27th Youth Festival to be organized in January 2024. I request the team from Department of Youth Affairs to undertake the exercise immediately.
ये यूथ फेस्टिवल को लेके ड्रॉ ऑफ लॉट्स?
Yes sir, lots. थीम
देने वाले। थोड़ा स्पीड पकड़ो भाई, एक ही है बस।
Meanwhile, I will like to announce that we have set up a BMI center near the registration counter. All the delegates who are interested can get their BMI done and even download the Fit India app. Now we break for lunch. I request all the delegates to join for the lunch on the ground floor in the convention center. Honorable ministers and the delegates joining them on the dining table for discussion may please proceed upstairs. We shall meet after 45 minutes at 2:45 p.m. Thank you.
शादी आपकी होटल में